Hello and welcome, Lola Acala here for Asst TV on our Vancouver Canucks special, a very special guest. He's been described as the brain trust of the organization. He's the man behind the collective bargaining agreements and salary cap planning, a key part of day-to-day decision making. He is Vice President of Hockey Operations and Assistant General Manager. It's Laurence Gilman. Hi, thanks for having us. Good to see you.
Well, thank you for having me.
So, under normal circumstances, with just a few weeks to the start of the 2012-13 NHL season, the question I ought to be asking is how are the Canucks getting ready for the upcoming season? But under present circumstances, in the middle of what some are calling really very contentious labor negotiations, what sense are you getting as we move ever so close to the 15 deadline when the current CBA expires? Do you think we can expect to see a deal on the table allowing the season to open on schedule and on time, or are we in fact headed into another NHL lockout, the likes of 2005?
Well, the short answer to that question is that that matter is way above my pay grade. But from our perspective, we are preparing for the NHL season to begin on time. At this point, our training camp is going to commence on September 21st. And for us, we're business as usual until we're told otherwise. We currently have 15, 16 of our players working out here daily, which is consistent with the ordinary course of business in any off-season or as time evolves close to the beginning of training camp. Players are skating. We're going to prepare for the season to begin until they tell us otherwise.
Well, there's no doubt with the seeming lockout looming over another NHL season, it just seems the general consensus out there amongst NHL fans is that, the league doesn't care about its fans. You only have to go to the social media networks to see just how frustrated fans are. Some are vowing to leave the game and never to come back if this does in fact go into a lockout. I mean, what are your thoughts on these reactions that we're seeing?
Well, to begin with, it's really not appropriate for me to comment on, the state of the game or collective bargaining. That's the province of our commissioner, his designated representative. I can say, being a Vancouverite, living here and working for the Vancouver Canucks, I know how much this team means to the people of Vancouver and the province of British Columbia. We hope, like everyone else, that hockey's going to start on time. It's a wonderful game, and again, we just have to deal with the cards that are dealt to us, and hopefully we're going to be playing sooner rather than later.
Now, you are at the helm of developing the team's strategic salary cap planning, administering the CBA. You are an authority on the subject from your early days with the Jets to going to Phoenix with them. They're under different capacities, and to arriving here in Vancouver to being a part of the Gillis team that's really helped turn this team around in a few short years. If you are to look back to 2005 with some hindsight, how well would you say this current salary cap system has worked so far for the NHL, or has it?
Again, it's not really appropriate for me to comment on how the system works. That's the job of the commissioner. I can comment on the Vancouver Canucks and our operation. We have worked the system as well as we can in terms of developing a strategic salary cap plan that works within the current model. As it's going to evolve, you have to be open-minded, and you have to, build flexibility into your plan in case the universe does change. And all I can tell you is that as it evolves, we're going to evolve with it.
Let's talk a little bit about what the organization was up to over the off-season. Prospect Camp. Now, around the NHL, Canucks Prospect Camp is rumored to be one of the toughest and hardest to attend. Tell us a little bit about what happens during those weeks and what it is that the organization really focuses on when it determines those rookies that will eventually wear the Canucks jersey.
Well, from the beginning, other than the players that we've spent a great deal of time and effort seeking out and acquiring, whether that's through the draft or unrestricted free agents that we sign, to the extent that we invite other players to attend our camp, they are players that we think from the beginning have the potential to be Vancouver Canucks. And by that, we mean who they are as human beings in as much as what they bring to us on the ice. We are looking at specific, personality traits and character traits. We want guys who are going to fit within our system. Again, to that end, we spend a lot of time looking at players from all walks of life, whether that's players that are currently playing in the BC Junior League or Tier 2 leagues across Canada and are committed to go to colleges and have no interest in signing NHL contracts at this time, but may look to be pro players later on, to players who went through the NHL draft, became undrafted, or were undrafted and were available to be signed to what they call amateur tryout agreements. And for us, it was important to introduce, as much as we wanted to evaluate these players to see if we might in fact want to sign them either now or at a later date, it also gave us a touchstone to let them know what we're all about as an organization. And as such, we spent a great deal of time planning their on-ice activities and workouts in addition to their off-ice training. But we also wanted to get them to know what our city was about and to see some of the beautiful things that Vancouver has to offer culturally and as a city, in addition to things like the grouse grind and what that's all about.
Wow.
So it's
part of the physical activity they have to do?
Yeah, it's the last thing that they do. We set them into teams. We have a competition, if you will, that is based on placing them on teams, and they get timed, but they only get timed based on the last member of their team getting up to the top of the mountain. So the idea behind it is to work together to get guys up the mountain together as fast as possible.
Teamwork.
Right.
It was also a very busy summer of signings for General Manager Mike Gillis. He was able to acquire some new signings, Gons, Garrison. There was also some movement. Fan favorite Salo has moved on. You're also able to acquire, re-sign some of your major players. Schneider's locked in, Ebert, Weiss, Phil Paddy, Mason. There are still some Canuck fans who argue that there is still a name that is still a bit up in the air, if you want to call it that, and that is that of Roberto Luongo. Can we expect to see Lou at the start of the season still very much a Canuck, with both goalies sharing the #1 spot? Unique situation, but
yeah, it is. I mean, there's been a lot said and written in the media about Roberto's situation. The one thing I can tell you right now, Roberto Luongo is a member of this organization, and he's a valued member of this organization. At the time of our recording, he will be coming in for the Jake Milford Golf Tournament, like almost every other member of our team. Training camp will commence at some point, assuming things go according to plan. It'll start September 21st. Barring anything unforeseen, we expect him to be here with Corey Schneider, with Eddie Lack, with Joe Canada, and with any other goaltender that we have in the camp. Beyond that, the only thing constant in this business is change. It's an ordinary course of business that players move around. As I like to say, we'll jump off the bridge when we get to it with respect to our goaltending situation. Right now, we're fortunate to have the problem of having too many goaltenders. There are teams in the National Hockey League that don't have enough. Yeah, as I like to say,
it's a shabby problem to have at all.
No, it falls into the category of problems you don't mind having.
No. We've also heard that Kess is going to be out for much of the start of the season. What sort of timeline can we expect to see him back?
I can't really answer that at this point. Ryan has had surgery both to his shoulder and to his wrist. His rehabilitation is coming along extremely well, but in these cases, you can't really force the body to adhere to a timetable that you would want. We anticipate that Ryan will be ready before too long, but when that's going to be, only Ryan's body can tell us.
True. There is no doubt that for most who cannot be bothered with too much facts, they will only focus on the fact that the Canucks don't have that all-important hardware as of yet. But the truth of the matter is, this team has made tremendous strides in the right direction towards that goal, with them ending the last 4 regular season as either league or division champions. Can you tell us what's allowed them to remain this consistent, and also what is necessary for them to really just take it up to that next level where they are hoisting that all-important cup?
To begin with, we have a terrific core of players. Obviously, it begins with Henrik and Daniel Sedin up front. in addition to Ryan Kessler, Alex Burrows, and Manny Malhotra and other players. We're also blessed to have depth on our blue line with Kevin Bieksa, Dan Hamhuis, adding Jason Garrison, Alex Edler, and as I said earlier, we have tremendous depth on our goal. You win as a team in this business and you lose as a team. We've had 4 very good years here. The last 4, we've had over 100 points in each year. We've won the division 4 times. We've won 2 President's Trophies. We've had a number of accolades for our players and some of our staff. But at the end of the day, we know that we will be judged by our performance in the playoffs. And it is, while we're proud of the accomplishments that we've had to this point, we are disappointed that we have not been able to bring a Stanley Cup to Vancouver, and we feel that we still have the ability and the personnel and the will and the drive to do it. Hopefully things will continue to go our way and we'll stay healthy and our players will play to their level of expectation, and we think that it's a possibility. But until then, we're going to do everything in our power to make it happen.
Let's talk a little bit about head coach Alain Vigneault. Now, he's been a very key part of this team's success, as also seen in his record as the head coach with the most successful winning percentage of all the head coaches that have been in this club. He's also gone on to win numerous Head Coach of the Year awards. He's led this team the last 4 years, as we've seen, to consecutive league championship or division championship. Tell us what the kind of confidence that you have in him as an organization to really lead this team to where it needs to be.
Alain is as much of an asset to this team as any player on our bench. It all starts at the top with leadership, and Alain and his staff have done a tremendous job for these 4 years, and in the period prior to our arrival here, they're extremely well organized, they're extremely confident. Alain in particular, I like to tell people he is deceptively sharp. I think he plays with the media on a regular basis, and he sort of portrays himself as a bumpkin sometimes and has a self-deprecating manner. But beneath that lies a fiercely competitive guy who has a steel trap mind and who wants to win and knows that his legacy in the NHL is going to be judged by his ability to win a Stanley Cup championship. That's what separates, great coaches from very good ones. And Alain wants to be great. And we think with him at our helm, we have as much opportunity to reach our ultimate goal as any team in the National Hockey League.
Beautiful. Now, with your formal legal training, your role in this organization encompasses a wide range of roles. But one of those duties has garnered you the name of Money Cruncher. I'm not sure if you know that. Can you tell your viewers a little bit about what that means and what it entails in your role, basically?
It's a complicated, we operate in a complicated, business model. The universe that we operate in with the salary cap is somewhat complex. You got to have a plan. We have a plan as an organization that has worked, well to this point. There's many people that are involved in our strategic operation. Whether that's Mike Gillis, Lauren Henning, our Director of Hockey Administration, Jonathan Wall, our coaching staff. We all work together to make this thing work, and we're fortunate that we have players that want to work with us and that have wanted to be here and have made commitments and sacrifices to be here. And it's all sort of fallen together for us, and we're very fortunate for that.
Well, I often like to end interviews with just a little bit of trivia, if you just indulge me. Apart from hockey, what other sport do you like? And it could be something that you just love to watch on TV or just something you partake in.
I'm the father of an avid soccer player. My son is 12 years old. He plays in the Vancouver HPL League. And I think that the most fun that I have at this point when I am not, following the Canucks is sitting on the side of the field watching him play soccer. And for what it's worth, my daughter is an avid rhythmic gymnast as well. So, my hobbies are spent living vicariously through them.
Beautiful. So choose one or both. Tennis or badminton or both?
I'm a tennis. Tennis is far and away I would give that the right away.
Ultimate.
Yeah.
Okay, these next two are going to be quite interesting. Beyonce, Lady Gaga, or both? In terms of music.
You know, I think if I had to choose one, I would choose Beyonce, but I would say that neither are necessarily in my wheelhouse.
We thought that would be amusing. The last one, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, or both?
I'll take none of the above.
We thought that was going to be amusing. Laurence Gilman, thank you so much for doing this, and we wish the Vancouver Canucks a very, very successful season.
Well, thank you, Lola. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Well, with all things according to plan, you can catch the Vancouver Canucks regular season starting October 11, but the preseason game will start September 24th. On location at Rogers Arena with the Canucks, I'm Lola Acala signing off for Shaw TV. Thanks for watching. See you next time.